Does this phrase sound familiar? I have items in my store and I want more sales. You're on YouTube, you might be on Facebook groups, and that's what you're asking. How do I increase sales? What can I do to get my sales number up? Again, you might be watching YouTube videos, you might be in Facebook groups, and most people provide two numbers. One is the number of things that they have listings. The number of listings that they have, 10, 20, 30, 40, 100. Oh, my goal this month is to get to 1,000 listings. Okay. The second number that is often shown is sales. I sold 5,000. This is my number of sales for the last 90 days, 10,000, 14,000. Those things are exciting. That gets you excited. That's what you really want. Other things that people will talk about is what sold. This is what sold over the weekend, and they'll show you these particular types of things. Now, all of those things are great, and they look at the overall picture, but what sellers really want to know is, how can I boost the sales by getting the items I already have in my store sold? You already have items in your store. What can you do to increase the sales in your store? In this video, I'm going to show you two numbers that most eBay sellers ignore when they think about increasing their sales. They oftentimes go through and add in more listings. Maybe they'll do things like change their title and other things that they have to do, but they're missing two numbers that eBay provides for them that can help you out with understanding what is in your store that's not doing very well. The first one is the click-through rate, and the second one is the sales conversion rate. And the second one is going to be really, really important. So stick around. I'll talk about what they mean, how to find them on eBay, and how to use them to boost your eBay sales. If you stuck around, this sounds like you. This probably is something that you're struggling with. You have items in your store that aren't selling. So what do? You go out and get more. And that's one thing that people say to increase sales. List more. True, but what you're actually doing is just adding more items to your store. You're not really going through and reducing or selling the stuff that's already in your store. And then at some point, you'll go back and view what you have in your store and you go, wait, I have a bunch of stuff in my store that isn't selling. So what do? Most of the people will do the following. They might tweak their listing a little bit, and they might change the title, change the description, maybe change the picture up a bit. The other thing that they'll do is, the most common one that I see all the time is, they'll end their listing and they'll sell similar. Like, if I just refresh it, that's the magic number. If I just refresh it and it's a new listing, boom, boom, it's going to sell. Or they reduce the price. It's just priced too high. And most sellers don't take the time to actually evaluate each item to see what, if anything, can be done to get those dead items sold. Stuff that's just been sitting around. By looking at some of these numbers, you can evaluate how to make some necessary changes. And then also, by looking at this, you can also see, like, what are some things that I should be staying away from? Because if you're continually sourcing the same sort of stuff that's not selling, then you're not doing yourself any good. And what happens is, people go out and they have some ideas. I think this will sell, etc. I've been watching YouTube videos, and these are the things that other people are selling, and they get so excited. The problem is, not everybody has those things. Not everybody has access to brand new high-end designer handbags for $10 that they can now flip for $200. So you go to a store, you look up a few things. Sometimes you leave empty-handed. Other times you say, well, I drove all the way out here, I'm getting something. And they'll get something, they'll go home. Sometimes it's a gold mine, but oftentimes they're sort of like duds, right? Now, I know many sellers will say, I have items in my store that are long tail. They're unique, they're vintage, they're antique. They just need the right buyer at the right time. Or everything eventually sells. True, But for the most part, most eBay sellers have a goal. They go out, they find something, they list it, and they expect it to sell. I would guess that most sellers would probably even love it if their item sold within a week. 30 days, I personally would love it to sell the next day. I know that's not very realistic. It happens sometimes it doesn't. The most people don't go out sourcing thinking, I'm going to pick up this doodad and I hope that it sells in 6 months. That's not what we do. So what do you do then if you have items in your store that aren't selling? You should be making some changes. And it's not just, let me just keep adding in some listings and hopefully it'll just magically make all of my listings be viable and people would want it. You want to look at 2 numbers, which is your click-through rate. Now, eBay has a description, each listing clicks da-da-da-da-da-da-da. The simplest way is, if the item comes up in a search, how often does the person actually click on that listing? Now, I've done some research and I have not found a set number that says this is a good click-through rate that you should actually have. But what is the things that causes people to click on your listing? 3 things: the title, the image, and the price of your listing. Now, I'm not going to really go into all of those specific details. There's plenty of things out there, and I'm working on some other videos that actually talk about that. But if the title isn't good, the image isn't good, and especially if the price isn't right, then the person won't click on the listing. If they don't click on the listing, they're never going to buy it. The second one that I think is even more important is the sales conversion rate. And it says the number of sales transactions divided by the number of listing page views. Basically, after a person has clicked on it, how often does the item actually sell? And not only is it about the title, the image, and the price, this is where the description comes in. Now, the average I have found doing some research is about 2 to 3%. Your sales conversion, the problem is across the entire store. And we would love, oh my gosh, I would love to have a 50% conversion rate or 100% conversion rate. So if your conversion rate is a little low, don't feel bad. It's low for everybody. It's about 2 to 3%. And that's why people say list more. Because if you list more, if I list 10 things, 2 things, kind of people end up buying, then that conversion rate goes up. And that is important because it is very important because eBay does push up listings that convert the best. And I would imagine that they probably even boost up stores. It's why you see sometimes where you're like, man, I have the exact same thing. I may even have a little bit cheaper and my competition is selling more than I am. So why don't people go through this and look at this? One is that, again, the things that people look at is the sales, and they're pushing how many listings are they having. Going through these is a little bit tedious and it's a little boring if you're not big into the number things. And there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that you're going to make any changes or anything like that, and magically, like Gandalf, is going to result in increase in sales. But it's better than just sitting around and doing the same things that just may or may not be doing any good. So now, next I'm going to show you how to find those 2 rates and what you can do with your existing listing in order to boost your sales. To begin, you'll want to log into your eBay account. Now, I have 3 eBay accounts. One's a store, and then I have 2 accounts. This is an account that is doing terrible. As you can see, I've had no sales on this account. And I know that there are people who are watching this that this sort of looks like them too. They're struggling. And while it's great to look at people who are doing really well, it's also good to look at people who have an account that's like, oh, that's a little bit struggling. This account, and I'm sort of mad at eBay. Give you a little background. Back in summer of 2020, eBay allowed people who had a business, like LLC, which I do have, to create an account, and they were giving big seller store accounts. And for some odd reason, they gave me the seller store and then gave me 10 listings. So I've only had 10 listings on this. Every single time I call, I'm like, can you give me more? Nope, 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 nope. But that's all right. So we're going to use this account to look at those particular things that I was talking about. So when you log in, you just need to go over to Hit Performance. Once you do that, you're going to see those two numbers that I was talking about. One is the click-through rate, and if you go over and hover over the I, it'll tell you what that is. And the other one is the sales conversion rate. It's at 0 because I haven't had any sales in 30 days on this. And the reason is because I don't really have great things on this account. And that might be what you're struggling with as well. You don't have the best things in the world. But that's okay. It's sort of like a challenge. It's like, what do I do when I don't have the best items in my store to figure out how I can get those to get better. So what that actually does, if you scroll down a little bit, so the sales conversion rate, we want those to be 2 to 3%. And the click-through rate, the higher it is, the number, the better off it is. And if you scroll down, it'll tell you this thing right here. It says, find listings with fewest impressions. So I want you to click on this one, and it'll actually show me, I only have a few, the ones that are not doing so good, which is all of them. Okay, so let's look at a few things. As you can tell, I have very few items in the store. I have a couple of books. I have a Jelly Belly spinner gift box, a St. Patrick's Day, these wedding card place things, and then this item here. And as you can look at this, notice three things. One, it'll tell you the number of quantities you have and the impressions. So the impression says, counts when a link to your listing appears on eBay and the buyer is one click away from your listing. So if they're looking up something, this is like how often it comes up. So if I was looking and I said, if I'm outsourcing, what are the things that I'd want to source? Right, I'd want to get some more of these Jelly Bellies. Maybe the St. Patrick's Day, because it's almost up. I'm sure after St. Patrick's Day, it's going to tank. And then this book here, which is one of the bestsellers on Amazon. These two books right here, this is an old book. And not too many people are out vacationing. So Las Vegas may be off the table right now because of COVID. And people aren't going out and worrying about gambling. They're just playing cards at the house. They're not worried about how do I make the most money on roulette. The other one, this book isn't a good seller as well, so that impression rate is low. Then you have the St. Patrick's Day, which is pretty high, and then another book. So books aren't the best things in the world to do if you're trying to increase your eBay store. Then you have the one that's almost at the lowest, which is this celebrated, these white name place cards. No one's having weddings, no one's having parties. So this one isn't that popular either. This one has a pretty good 205 impressions. I've struggled with this for a while. It is one of these which you would probably consider a long sale. I've messed with the title a bit. I've messed with the pricing. I've messed with the description. I've messed with the color. The pit image. So you will find sometimes a listing, no matter what you do, you can change the title. You can put the keywords in. You can make all these sorts of changes, and it just isn't selling. And I'm at the point now where I say, this might be something I go ahead and keep for myself, or just donate it, keep it for a present, a wedding gift, maybe someone who's moving into a home, something like that. I probably, after when this listing is close to being relisted, I will probably remove this because this isn't doing well. But this helps me out because now I know these little chest boxes aren't good. I would not get this again. This is just not a good item. This celebrated, I could probably unlist it and then add it back in. Hopefully after the vaccines and the world gets back to normal and people start having parties again, this might be something that I just take away, or maybe have it for my own party later on. And the books sometimes are good sellers or something like that, and we'll look at some of these books as well. But let's look at this Jelly Belly Bean Boozled. It has a high impression. People have clicked on it, but it's not converting. Now you can think to yourself, one thing, it's February. There's a lot of candy holidays that we've just passed. Christmas, Valentine's Day, and now Easter. Therefore, there is a lot of candy out for people, and there's candy out for people all the time. But I might change the title up a bit, knowing that Easter's coming up, and put in Easter basket, something along those lines. The next thing that you can do is use Terapeak. Now, if you don't have an eBay store, you can purchase Terapeak, but I'll just use it so you can see what it looks like. So I am on my eBay store account, which has the Terapeak, and I'm just going to put in Bean Boozled, because that's what Bean Boozled jelly beans. Okay, and it'll sort through this if it hurries up, and I think it's actually one word, Bean Boozled. Doesn't seem to want to work. Okay, so here we are. We see these Bean Boozled, and you can sort like date last sold, total sales. So this person right here is probably my biggest competition right here. They're selling it for, they've got 98 sales, and they're selling it at $11.34. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that link, and I'm going to place it over here. And here we are. It's the same exact product. They have free shipping, and it's $11.59. Now, I can click on mine. Same exact product, and it's $4.25 plus $4.50 shipping. Now, if we do the math, and this is where a lot of us do, where we say, if things not selling, let me go less. I am actually almost $3 less than the other ones. So you say, what in the world is going on? They don't even have a volume pricing like I do. They have a higher sell rate. They have 160 sold. So the thought is, for this item, if I was struggling, I would want to double check the type. And they don't even have the same sort of, they have Jelly Bean Boozled, and I have Bean Boozled. So I might change it to actually separating out the Bean Boozled part, and maybe at the end, instead of putting 3.5 ounces, I would put Bean space Boozled. The other thing that I could do is looking at this and saying, this might be a product where somebody's clicking on give me free shipping. Even though I am cheaper on the price, the $4.50, $4.25, those numbers together, people are like, oh, I don't care. I don't want to do the math on this. Therefore, I should change this to free shipping, and then probably keep with the 35% and make those changes. And hopefully that'll get me to compete with this person right here, which they are, and they have something a little bit different down here. So that's one way that we can look. Instead of me just unlisting it and tanking the price even more, I can actually maybe even increase the price, change it to free shipping, and see if it makes a difference. The other thing, this St. Patrick's Day hat, I believe this is also, I have not free shipping on it. Small items like this might be a good idea for me to go ahead and do free shipping. Now, the other one that I had that has a good impression rate, which is this Girl Wash Your Face. So I'm going to copy that information and put it in here in the Terapeak. And I'm just going to take the rest of that out so I can get some good stuff. Now, there's nothing on here. Sometimes you have to kind of manipulate things. Oh, wow. But this is under home and garden. That's why. So we're going to reset this. So if you're having those problems, look around, make sure that it's on the right path. Now, look at this average price sold. So the highest was $7.99, $3.90. I bet you more than anything, my price is too high. So I open that link and it's at $19.13. It's not going to ever sell at $19.13. I have to lower that price. Now, do I need to lower the price all the way down to the bottom? I might. That's the lowest it is, and here we have the highest. So the highest I would want to sell it at is $7.99. It's not selling because it's too high. Remember, the click rate, title, price, and then your image. And I just use a stock image because it's a book. Okay. Then, but there are a lot of them that are selling. So this is one of those things where you say, okay, there's a lot of sales going on, but my price is too high. Would I get this book again? No, because I don't want to sell something for $4.04, pay $2.80 for shipping. I'm not going to make any money off of this. So in this sense, books tend to do better on Amazon. I would send this book on into Amazon. I believe this is actually in Amazon. So $7.99 was okay, but as you can see, most of them are running about $4. So I could probably maybe try the 7, go a little bit lower, maybe $6.25 right here in the middle, and see if it sells. Okay. The other thing that you'll find is when you're doing this, you'll find items that you didn't even realize are horrible. So here we are. We're looking at this Mutant Chronicles DVD. If I go back to my Terapeak and I look up Mutant Chronicles DVD, and this is brand new, so I'm going to click on brand new and look at what we have. This is not good. Now, you may have something that's really unique and you don't have that many solds. The next thing we want to look at is active. And look at how many are active. This isn't selling because it's a terrible DVD to try to sell. And the other thing you want to look at when you're looking at these sorts of things is look at the start date. One person has been trying to sell this since July the 7th, 2017. Okay, still same thing at $13. I think I have mine too high as well. So you'll see 13, 14, and then we start seeing these 6. And if I go back over to the solds, I see that there is an issue there. So if I was to just go through these listings and start lowering the price a couple, I'll lower the price 25%, or I'm just going to unlist and relist or sell similar. Those items that I have listed in the store there will never sell. They are probably not ever going to sell. Again, think about what are some things. Smaller items, even though I think I have this reasonably priced, I don't even remember how much that is, $6, I probably just need to do free shipping. To beat this person or at least have the same amount of sales, free shipping. These books should maybe go instead to Amazon versus eBay, because they will give me a higher pricing point on eBay. This one's so old, it just might be in the library for myself. Save the listing, save your time, and avoid things that aren't selling. Mutant Chronicles, I just need to go ahead and put this at a bottom rate price and try to get it sold. And then this one, I probably just need to remove it and save it, and then give it as, keep it for myself, it's cute, and or give it as a gift to somebody else. Hey, if you have products in your store that you're holding on to that aren't doing so well, save it, give it to somebody else. This celebrate it, this is probably needs to wait until we get back to the things that are going. So it's not just what the pricing is. You have to think about what the environment we're living in right now when you're thinking about selling through. But these will give you some information about what's going on. This is giving me a good impression. Low click rate. And what the problem is the price. And it's not selling because even though I'm lower in price, someone has free shipping, and probably an item like this needs to have free shipping. Same thing here, change it to shipping. Maybe go ahead and get rid of the books because they're just not very good, especially on a new account, where if you have a new account, books are pretty good for getting those sales, but it needs to be $4, $3. This one, I don't care to keep it, and I would be happy if somebody bought it off me, so I will need to go ahead and take the price. Okay, so hopefully you saw, gave you a really good idea of what a really bad account looks like and why it was doing so poorly. And this might be you as well. It's a hard thing to take in because you take a lot of time, you take a lot of pride in your work, and you source things, but some things do better on other places. Books do better on Amazon, unless you want to sell it for $4 on eBay. The books would do better on Amazon. Smaller items, free shipping is better. Sometimes you get items where they're just not very good. And so what did I do after this? So between the screen sharing and now, I removed all those books. There's no reason to have the books. I actually have more Bean Boozled than what I have listed, but I'm limited. So I went ahead and changed that price. I kept that volume discount in the hopes that maybe people might see, hey, if I buy more than one, I'll get an actual special discount. I didn't have it exactly at the same price as the other person did. They have it at $11.59 and I made mine $10.99. And I included free shipping on that. And with the St. Patrick's Day hats, I knocked the price down a little bit, added in volume, and I actually had 4, so I was able to add in all 4. Maybe somebody might take all 4, a volume discount, and made them free shipping as well. Looking at those rates is going to help you to not only look at what's wrong with your current listings, help you to also look at what you need to do when you're sourcing in the future, because I don't want things in my store that are taking months to sell. I want them to be gone. I want the money now, and that's what most people want. We don't want things to sit around. I may keep the chest. I'll probably just put it in my bedroom and keep it for myself. It's actually kind of cute. I could probably use them for jewelry or something like that, or even around my desk, throw in some pencils and things of that nature. There's a little repair on it. There's like a bend in the rattan wicker, whatever they call it. And probably if I just got some good Gorilla Glue or something like that, I could probably go ahead and glue that, and that will take care of that repair. And then that might get it sold. But for right now, I'm just going to take it down. It's been up for way too long and it's just not doing very well. And there's other things that I have that would do much better. And so I've only got 3 things in my store now. And we'll see how that works. Hope you learned something today. Hopefully this will help you out when trying to figure out what you can do to boost your sales, increase sales when things are just sort of struggling. You're not alone. even eBay sellers like me who's got bigger stores can have an account that's just not doing well. And there's always things that you can do to improve. So I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you click and subscribe and like this video. If you've got other information about things that you use, other data that you use to boost your eBay sales, let us know. And I look forward to the next time. Thanks.